everybody, it's Luke with Figure Me Out. Today we've got something extra special. We've got a Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure. We've got Molten-Man here. I'm going to go ahead and pop this together. This is from the Spider-Man Far From Home wave of action figures. Those came out in 2019. It is 2019 now. Let's see, this is the... I think I have got him assembled. Woo! After some trial and error. And there goes his hand. Let's go ahead and take this guy over to the light box and we'll get a closer look at him. Taking a look here in the light box, and this guy will just barely fit in here, so we're gonna have to do this kind of awkwardly. But looks really good. The paint around the eyes, I love those little pupils in there, that yellow. The translucent on this really makes that glow like lava. This shoulder piece is actually removable, so we can take that out. It's almost kind of like an accessory, like a little bar. And it looks like a steel girder that's been burned or is melting, is in the process of melting. And this is what, I don't know if any of you guys have ever gotten into soldering or anything. I have. That is what metal looks like whenever it's really, really hot. So that looks really good. But yeah, just that chest, that translucent material that they used looks so good. Oh, that looks so good with that gold on top. It really looks like melty metal. And I like that a lot. That face just looks super evil. It's fantastic. It's kind of hard to tell which direction is front and which one's back on this, but other than that, it's pretty good. You get another steel girder right there. Taking a look at the legs. Sorry to bounce this around. Like I said, he's very, you know, very, very large in the box there. Very kind of awkwardly shaped too. So that hand looks good. On the back of that, it's like where it's kind of cooled down a little bit. You can see, you know, which would make sense if it's at the end of, you know, the core of him. Which just, yeah, the paint on this thing, really, really clean, really good. Just awesome looking. Look at those legs. They're both completely different legs, and they just look really good. There are peg holes at the bottom of both feet too, in case you were wondering. But let's go ahead and take him out of this, and we'll go over some articulation. So talking about articulation, this is where things start to really get interesting. So Molten-Man can look up some. He can look down some as well. Not a whole lot there. Do get side to side. Can get, you know, a little bit of pivot. Whoop, and pop the head off when you do that. Side to side, a little bit of pivot in there as well. At the arms, I'm just going to do every limb independently because they're all a little different. Arm, on this one you get a full rotation. It is a little bit inhibited at the back there, so you do kind of got to bring it out, and that's because that bulges at the base. You get a bicep swivel. This part right here is removable, like I said earlier. Bicep swivel. You get a single jointed elbow that comes in this far, but there is a swivel there as well. At their wrists, whoop, hand came off. At the wrist, they are hinged to go down. They go up some, you can get a little bit more up to the side, and there is a rotation there as well. The bottom of the knuckle is flat as well, as though that's supposed to be almost like a tripod kind of stand for him to, you know, a third leg almost. At the other arm, you get a full rotation on it. Again, there is a little bit of a bump at the back, so you got to kind of work it out to the side there. Bicep swivel, single jointed elbow comes in, woo, tipping the camera over. Comes in this far, so not great. Comes back. Doesn't go all the way flat back, but you can turn this bicep piece because he's a giant piece of molten lava, and you can get that flat if you want to. So you absolutely had to do it that way. I think that with this figure, there's a lot of room for, you know, well, this looks better if I turn it around this way and give him a big old molten bicep. You can do that, and you can turn it back around, and it looks fine. Because who's to say? Maybe mine's not the right way, and that keeps popping off. A little irritating, whatever. Anyway, so single jointed elbow there. At the wrist, it's hinged to go down. It comes back up, and there is a full rotation as well. At the top of the torso, not a whole lot going on there. You get a little bit of side to side. This bottom piece, however, is a very flexible kind of plastic. I don't know if you can see that or not. They've been using that a lot. It's the same thing Hulk had on his, you know, torso in that last Build-A-Figure that we had. And I kind of dig it because it gives it a little bit more range. We do get a pretty good crunch forward. We get a pretty good lean back, and then we get some side to side as well. So pretty good joint there. I like that. It's like a ball joint up there. At the hips, the legs, again, we'll just go over these individually because they're so different. This leg goes out. It goes forward some. It goes back some. There's a upper thigh swivel. There's a single jointed knee, comes in that far. Comes down, not as much. But again, you can rotate that, kind of make it work. I don't know, it looks kind of gross and weird, but you know what? He's kind of a gross and weird dude. At the foot, we do have an ankle that goes down. It goes up. And we have a crazy ankle rocker pivot on this side. On the other side, thigh swivel again. Single jointed knee again. Goes in that far on this side. You can turn that around. Like I said, you can get it going forward if you want. If you really want to make him Cronenberg style, you can do that. Single jointed knee. And then the ankle, we do go down just a little bit. He's got this big fat foot right here. Goes up just a little bit. Goes down some. And then it's even got the crazy ankle rocker pivot that just makes it kind of, it's like he's slipping on a banana peel or something. It's weird. For a size comparison, here he is next to a few other figures. We've got the Spider-Man UK, which is kind of a, you know, medium-sized guy body. We've got this Captain Britain, who is a, he's got the Hyperion body. So you can see what that looks like compared to that. And then finally, we've got the Union Jack, which uses the Bucky Cap body, which I think everybody's got one of those at this point. And you can see how it sizes, or how it scales with that as well. Compare with a couple Spider-Man here. We've got the Homecoming Spider-Man, who looks very, very small in comparison. We've got the Mezco 112 Black Suit Spider-Man and the Marvel Select over on the left there. And I think he's pretty intimidating. Even with the Select, he still has a pretty good size to him. Here he is next to the Hulk Build-A-Figure from that second Avengers wave of figures. And he kind of looks a little short here. In the trailers, he looked like he was this huge guy, but Hulk's kind of looks like he's about to put the whooping on him. Here he is next to the Galactus Build-A-Figure, which in my opinion is one of the greatest Build-A-Figures ever made. And you can see pretty short in comparison. Galactus barely fits in the light box. Finally, here he is with the rest of this wave, and I gotta say, this is a pretty solid Spider-Man wave. Not really any total disappointments here. Hydro Man, you know, the elbows could have been better. Love this guy, love that girl. This guy's pretty great. Love this Mysterio. Scorpion is pretty great. Doppelganger's pretty cool. The Build-A-Figure, you know, I've heard some mixed things about this guy, but I really like him a lot. He's been living on my coffee table, and every time I walk past, I just pick him up, and I can't put him down for a little bit. He's fun. He's a fun figure. And really, isn't that what it's all about? Anyway, what do you guys think? Did you like this Build-A-Figure? Were you happy to see this? Were you disappointed to see this? What did you think of this wave? Check out the other videos. Let me know what you think about them too. Hit like, hit subscribe, so you don't miss anything in the future. We're going to try and put some other stuff out this week. Now that we're done with this wave, we can move on to some other fun things. But, you know, check me out over on Instagram, Luke_figuremeout at Instagram.com. And in the meantime, happy collecting.